right, I've been asked to explain some blues rhythm. And my first idea was to do some rhythmy, chunky things with stops, with holes. So in other words, I would do like a little bit of rhythm and then stop. And the reason I did that is usually if you're playing a blues rhythm, there's something else going on. You know, there's like another guy playing lead, or there's a singer or something. So I want to leave some holes so I'm not just making a bunch of noise the whole time. So I just did a basic power chord. And then this is actually kind of a cool stretch. You know, if you can use your pinky and stretch up to the 6 and keep that, you know, and I'm using alternate picking to do that. I'm not doing all downstrokes. I'm doing like down, up, down, up, down, up. And then just stopping and then letting the singer or the other guitar player have a little space. It also, sometimes I'll just add a percussive scratch as a thing in between. To get that, you've got to use this part of your hand, cover up the strings, and then just sort of strum it with that same groove, that shuffly ga-duck, ga-duck, ga-duck. Now, you know, please don't think this is simple and boring and fast forward. This is really cool, you know, not complicated, but really valuable stuff. So try this. Try sitting down and go. Pretend you're playing drums on guitar. You want to get that ga-duck, 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 ga-duck. If you can get your foot going, get your head bouncing. If you do that, the girls will pay attention too. All right, so that's a good place to start. After that, I started looking for some more chord voicings that I could use. One kind of cool one was I simulated the Keith Richards open tuning. Keith Richards, of course, the guitar player from the Rolling Stones. And what I did is I used my pinky to play the A note, and then I used the standard kind of A major chord. And then with my other two fingers, I did that little like D shape, sort of, or like a sus. It's actually it's like a D major shape, but A is in the bass the whole time. Again, you got that groove going with your right hand. You're drumming with your right hand. And then I just move that around to the different keys in the blues. And it's always nice to have some blues turnarounds. That's kind of a ZZ Top one where I use my pinky on the A and my other fingers to do a descending chromatic line on the D string. And then I use my favorite new 5 chord. You sound like you went to school if you know that chord. Pretty easy to play. It's just your third finger is on these 2 strings, G and D. I'm sorry, what is that? A C and a G, sorry. I'll get my note names right yet. And with your second finger, you've got a D note. And with your first finger, you've got I guess it's a G sharp. And E in the bass. So that's a nice turnaround. All right. And what any other ideas I've got? Most of it, really the right hand, just keeping that groove going, is really important. You can play very simple things and it'll sound great if this is always keeping that beat going. And try to do it with alternate picking, almost like you would strum. I don't want to go all downstrokes. That's going to be kind of herky-jerky and not so graceful. And I want to have a nice, you know, easy, graceful swinging blues. There we go. That'll get you started. I got the blues this morning. Well, I think for blues, and really, hopefully, any kind of music, one of the most important things is the rhythm. So I'm trying to think like a drummer. Every guitar player knows the pentatonic scale. And sometimes, initially guitar students will think, I just want to play that scale up and down as fast as I possibly can. And that can be a great effect, but really I'm looking for rhythms. So in the case of this blues, the first thing I thought of is I want to know what the tempo and the groove is. The tempo was somewhere around there, so I start doing that with my foot and getting the tempo into my blood. And then the groove is sort of a shuffle. So if I was a drummer and not a guitar player, what would I play? Maybe the first thing I could play was just right with my foot. Bonk, 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 the same exact rhythm. So I could start using maybe some notes from the pentatonic and blues scale with that same rhythm. I'm just doing exactly what my foot's doing. And I'm sort of putting a little ka-dunk in between, so I'm cheating and making it sound better by putting that shuffle in there. But the accents are with the foot. Now that's as simple as you can get. That's just right with the foot. You could also try to go in between. Like if the foot's doing this, maybe go play in between the beat. And that sounds cool too, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm doing this sort of as an exercise at the moment. For actual improvising, I'd probably mix them up. I'd do some down, some up. Like. So really, I'm thinking more about the rhythm even than I am the notes. Because in blues, there's not that many notes. Let's see, what other thing? I mean, you could go for a more complicated rhythm. Like, let's see, if you're a drummer, maybe you could go I just made that up. Let's see if I can add some notes to it. Like. So those are all the same rhythm, but different notes within the blues and pentatonic scale. And that's such a cool way to practice. It's fun, it sounds good, and it really shows you how to actually use a scale and apply it to music in a way that doesn't sound like an exercise. It sounds like music, which is what it is. And that's my goal, to focus you in that direction. To make the pentatonic scale come alive, it's a combination of using those rhythmic phrases and bending, because that's a unique thing that only the electric guitar, well, actually maybe a saxophone can do some bending, but a piano can't bend. You hit a note and you're stuck there. Where with a guitar, you can bend. You can get you can sing with your guitar. So that's another thing is, if you can scale, like, that way, you're really doing the music straight from your heart, straight from your soul when you sing with it. And I'm trying to do, even when I'm not singing, I'm trying to think that way. So that's one of the reasons I really love playing the blues. Is it's such a it's just such a natural way of singing through the instrument. And I think I did some fast licks at the end. Like, I know people who watch me want to hear fast stuff, and I like playing fast too. So let me give you the one fast lick I did, where I did this kind of pull off. I actually picked the F sharp twice. And the F sharp is like the Dorian note, A Dorian. It sort of makes that sound come out. So after I pick that note twice, everything else is a hammer on or pull off. And I did the same kind of lick starting with G, going from G, A, E. Now that's the slow version. If I want to lock that into the shuffle groove, I sort of squeezed it in where I'm going like, And any fast lick that you have, try to hear the pulse of it so it locks into what the groove is doing. That's so important. It will make it sound like your amp got twice as loud. Everything you play will come out clearer if you can lock it into the groove with the foot. All right, there we go. That was way too much vibrato. But vibrato's fun. Have a great time with the blues. Bend those strings like B.B. King. Ah. Go watch B.B. He does it the best.